Welcome back, everybody.
Dynamite intro, Mrs. Lush, you absolute lamb. Is lamb a good thing? Is that a nice term?
So.
I'm not sure. I went to say something that meant like sweet, beautiful, sexy, all the above.
Just use those words.
Illustrious? Yeah, you sweet, beautiful, sexy, illustrious wife. My wife. Honey, am I the a-hole? You guys seem to like it. We're going to read some of these. The first one that the team put together, it's called Husband Angry at Wife Because She Had a Miscarriage on His Birthday. Sounds absolutely insane. I'll go for it. I miscarried yesterday afternoon about noon. I've never had a miscarriage before, and this baby was so wished for, so it's also fresh, and I'm sobbing right now, so I apologize in advance if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My husband turned 27 yesterday. Couple points right off the bat. Classic Leon Lush likes to talk right away before even getting too hard into the story. Insane to me that a day after this happens, you immediately run to Reddit to post about it. I guess it makes more sense if you're someone who's like very active in the Reddit community and feel like this is a place where you have community. Just hard for me to fathom. Anyways, I, a 26-year-old female, was pregnant with mine and my husband's second child. Husband's a year older. Yesterday I was 8 weeks pregnant, pretty early. The day before yesterday we saw a beautiful heartbeat flicking on the screen, and today I'm devastated. I was playing with our 2-year-old when I felt the pressure in my lower ab, blah, blah, blah. Not long later I noticed bleeding, and I told my husband the discomfort bleeding. Before long I had passed what I believe is the fetus and messaged him, I think I lost the baby. I wanted to keep him updated, and I guess I was seeking some kind of emotional support. I asked if he could come home, and he said, of course, if it's urgent. I said, I think it is because the pain and bleeding is getting worse. I'm starting to feel lightheaded, and our 2-year-old is unattended in his playroom. Yeah, I would say that's pretty urgent.
Yeah. Shouldn't have to ask.
No, if it's, honey, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Okay, see you later. We have no friends or family near that I could call who would get to us quicker than he could. Cleaned myself up, crawled down the stairs to take paracetamol. You know what that is?
It's Tylenol.
Paracetamol? Why the hell is it called paracetamol?
They probably are from like the UK or something.
All right, there you go. Tylenol's just a brand name, right? Like Kleenex and
Which
tissues?
is acetaminophen.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Crawled downstairs to take paracetamol, make my son his lunch, and then put him down for a nap. At this point, my husband still wasn't home. He was working 30 minutes away and took closer to 60 minutes to get back. Hours later, when I asked, it was because he'd stopped at Tesco to pick up some beers. That's crazy. I ended up very poorly, losing lots of blood, lightheaded, vomiting, etc. He had to take me to the emergency room. By the time I was discharged, it was 8 p.m. last week. I had said I'd made him his favorite dinner for his birthday, which he reminded me when we were almost home. I said I wasn't feeling up to it and that whatever takeaway he wants is on me. Takeaway, yeah, they're definitely like UK.
Yeah.
He said, for f***'s sake, under his breath, and then muttered something along the lines of, this bullshit has ruined my birthday. He didn't stop to get any takeaway. He just drove straight home. He put our son to bed, and I went to bed, and I'm not sure what he did after. I didn't see him this morning as he had already left for work. He's not messaged me all day, and he got home a few hours ago. It's now 8:40 p.m., and he's been giving me a silent treatment. I tried to speak to him about an hour or so ago, and he ignored me, and I called him a disgrace. He slammed the bedroom door and locked me out of the bedroom. His mom has since messaged me and said I need to be patient as he's also had a loss. She didn't ask how I was or anything. He's obviously speaking to his mom, but why isn't he opening up and speaking to me? She said I was harsh. I'm feeling utterly emotionally rejected. My body has been through emotional and physical hell. I understand that my miscarriage came at an inconvenient time for him. It's an insane thing to say, as if it was, you have choice over the timing of it. As it was his birthday and all, and I'm not sure if it's the hormone making me feel crazy, but is it nuts to contemplate divorce? Am I the ass for calling him a disgrace? Sweetheart, what do you think?
Is there ever been a more obvious, am I the ass? She's not an asshole. He's an asshole. And yeah, you should get divorced, but not yet. Let things calm down.
Whoa, jeez, man. There, you got a 2-year-old though. Maybe it was just a tough
okay. We don't need to pretend everything's
I'm gonna
okay
play
for
devil's advocate
kids.
here and saying she's a for ruining his birthday.
Oh, okay. What about him stopping for beer on the way home instead of hurrying up to get to her?
Hey, a man needs to grieve. You're not gonna grieve without a 6-pack by your side. Hello, come on here. Have a little leeway. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, the idea of he suffered a loss too. Okay. But
Yes. But there's no like.
that's not even,
That's not what's going on there.
Nah, just complete and utter disregard for the trauma that your wife had just gone through, having to, as a man, put aside whatever difficulty this may be for you. Like, okay, so here's the 2-tiered here. Certainly it can be a loss for you as well, so you need to put that aside and compartmentalize that and make sure your wife's okay first. That's what you do as a man. But the second part of that, which is even more pathetic, is the fact that you care even at all about your birthday. Even a little bit care about how your birthday is going when your wife is going through a miscarriage is the saddest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yes,
You're a
Does not matter.
You're an absolute loser. Miscarriage aside, if like it was my birthday and you were like, oh, I'll make your favorite dinner.
Yeah,
and
I don't feel good.
You were like, oh, honey, I'm feeling extra tired or something. Like I'd be happy to pay, or not pay, whatever. I'd be happy to get you your favorite takeaway.
She was offering to pay.
Yeah, I'd be like, no problem, honey. I just don't care if you're not feeling up for it. Obviously, I know that like if you were feeling up for it, you do it. You like to make things feel special. This dude just sounds like an absolute Nathan. Insane.
What's a Nathan?
I've just heard that. No offense to anyone named Nathan out there, but it's like absolute Steve. Absolute pleb, I don't know. Top comment, not the asshole. I can't imagine spending another minute under the same roof as this horrible, immature, cruel man. Yes, the miscarriage of a wanted pregnancy can be a huge loss for a man too.
Yes.
But it doesn't give him the right to be so selfish and treat you so cruelly. Your husband has showed a side of himself he can never hide again. Ask yourself if this is the kind of man you want in your life going forward. I am sorry for your loss. I would agree. That's a seminal moment where you have a chance to show your true character, and it clearly was a narcissistic, selfish piece of shit. Was
like
the real character
emotional
that came
support.
out. Yeah, 38 and 38, so they're like our age.
38-year-olds.
This is good to know. Why don't you start it off with the first paragraph?
I'll try my best. I left my wife. They're both. Okay, wait, what? I hate when they do that. It's like
they're just identifying how old each of them are.
Just for context.
They're both 38, and this is
all right. I left my wife today.
This
5
is from
years
the male
together.
Yeah.
4 married. I have battled her lack of boundaries about her family for the past 2 years. I understand that they are very close knit, but she never paid attention to how their dynamics affected our relationship. I experienced every just no family situation.
Not sure what that means.
I don't either. I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah. My food was eaten, showing up uninvited, meddling, you name it. 9 months ago, mother-in-law and father-in-law began divorce proceedings. He cheated, fell madly in love with the side chick woman who he's lived for the past 15,
lived for the
past 15 years.
Maybe.
And he decided that he wants to get remarried. He kicked everyone out of the house. It was an emergency, so I agreed to help out. I so regret it. I had to take 4 people in, but they couldn't think to avoid constantly pissing me off. I got sick of finding them using our private bathroom and had complete access to the other full bathroom by the hallway. Sister-in-law started taking naps on our bed, which is creepy because our bed is too personal. Ew. I agree with that. That is creepy. Unless you say, go ahead, sleep in my bed.
Still weird.
I came home late and we had to wake her up and still waited for her to snap out of her groggy state that she could walk out. It lasted for 3 months, but the problems persisted. No matter how many times I told my wife and even told them, they still showed up at random hours. Even if I didn't run into them, I know she was allowing them to come over. I hated their presence. They would eat my snacks and get on my expensive recliner chair, which again, they didn't contribute a penny for. I had a mini Orca that they picked empty.
Will you expect them to like give you money to use your recliner? Like that's a weird thing to say.
A quarter machine in there?
Yeah. My expensive recliner that they didn't pay for. Like, no shit, buddy. It's your house with your furniture. I don't know. It's weird.
Things got so tense that I blew at her in front of them. They left. We had a fight. I ended up sleeping in a hotel. I warned her many times about being fed up and needing her to support me. She acted like I was demanding that she abandon her family. That's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I don't know. I can't speak from experience because I've had wonderful experience with my own family and we don't deal with this situation. But I can imagine this is not uncommon to have
I'm sure.
in-laws and people be so oppressive and invasive in your relationship that it puts a wicked strain. And the person whose family it is has to be caught in a really tough place because it's probably very difficult for them to set boundaries because it's family. And after all, it's like family first. And then like can start to build resentment because like your significant other needs there to be boundaries and you're unwilling to meet them halfway. And maybe you just don't, it depends on personality too. Like some people have no problem setting boundaries with their family.
Sure.
And other people don't have a spine. They're just jellyfish and it's really hard for them to, especially if they have manipulative family members that guilt trip you and say, oh, that blah, blah, blah. Like we got kicked out of the house. There's a million reasons why they just want to freeload off of you.
Sure.
So I can see, it seems like probably not an uncommon situation. Today I came home to find her brother's car blocking the entrance. You mind if I continue?
No, please do.
I just like reading. Not on the side and not even on the driveway, just right in the middle where my only option would be to go on the lawn. I go inside, he's laying with his shoes on the couch. He gave me this fresh smile like he's untouchable. I went to our bedroom and packed as much of my belongings as possible and ignored her pleas to talk. There's nothing else to talk about. I already called a few lawyers, but I haven't received any replies. She cried, but at this point I have no empathy. I don't even know if I overreacted or if I need to discuss this in private. I feel the defeated and angry and also hate her family with my soul. Wow. They knew they were hurting our relationship and they didn't care. She knew that I'm a private person who hates being invaded. I helped them because I love her and I didn't have the balls to let them go to sleep in their car. We don't have kids, but there's so many things that will be left undone. I loved her so much, but I just can't do this. She called me immediately after I left and told her that my decision is final. She sounded shaken, but I told her that right now I despise her and will never be able to sleep next to her again. Ooh.
Holy smoke.
Sorry for any typos. I have a migraine. I'm just coming here because I just want to ask if leaving the way that I did was an ass move, and maybe I should have announced my intention of ending our marriage after her brother was gone.
I mean, I want to back it up 10 steps. Like, let's not pretend like there weren't any warnings when you were dating. This lack of boundaries probably didn't just come out of nowhere, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So that's usually why you're dating for a bit before you get married.
But that to me is one of those things where it's like, you think, all right, like their family's a little bit whatever, delulu, but we'll figure it out. We're going to have our own house. We'll have some boundaries. Like, and it could just be random that they got kicked out of their father's house and all of a sudden it's like they expect to just live with you indefinitely or something. It's like different than there being a red flag in your partner specifically that you're ignoring, because they could be a great person for a lot of reasons, like with their own faults, but like not be as bad as their family. A couple examples I can think of. But for whatever reason, once it comes down to it, they don't have the decisiveness and the cojones to actually put their foot down with their family when you need to protect the relationship. When you do make the commitment to get married to someone, like you need to be able to set those boundaries and put your relationship first. Your family, as important as they are to you, should become second fiddle to your partner. Second fiddle is not the right word, but like your partner needs to be the priority. And if your family is encroaching on the safety and the comfort and the integrity of your relationship, there needs to be a hard conversation. It's one thing if it's like, oh, they need to crash for a couple days or a week and then they're gone. But like if this has been an issue for 2 years, yeah, brother, I say you're fully justified. Justified.
Doesn't mean he couldn't have handled it better, but he just kind of hit that breaking point.
And take the recliner away. Your expensive recliner that they didn't chip in for at all.
Yeah, no, they're probably destroying it.
Yeah, just makes me grateful that we have good boundaries in our life.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, don't have to deal with stuff like that.
No.
I pray to God, like literally one of my only goals in life ever is to never have to go to Reddit for advice.
Pretty reasonable goal.
You know what? I take that back. I go to Reddit for advice on a lot of things, not by posting, just by reading.
Yes. Agree. No, I do too. I look at it.
Yeah. There's some good information on Reddit. I'm being a little bit unfair. Never to the point where I'm the one posting, asking Redditors for advice. In lieu
of therapy.
I'm just a classic advice consumer. Fly on the wall type beat. 17-year-old, I think I might have to explain how I was born for context. My mom has two friends. I'll call them Amelia and Jessica. Jessica's husband cheated on her with Amelia, getting her pregnant, but Jessica forgave them. Then he cheated on her with my mom. Jessica still forgave him and forgave my mom, which makes me think she's probably the most forgiving person on the planet.
Hurt my brain.
I didn't really follow it, to be honest.
Either. Okay.
Anyways, he's apparently the child of some sort of out of wedlock cheating something. Anyways, my mom insisted that Jess's husband is my father, but he always denied it up until several months ago when he realized how much we look alike. So he agreed to a DNA test. Turns out he is my father, so 2 affair children by 2 different women for him. This is an episode of Maury Povich.
What the hell?
He's been visiting me about once a month, but things are still awkward between us. Yeah. I was reading a romance novel when he told me I'm too young for those books and said I must stop reading them. This is 17. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I told him I won't, but he said I have to listen to him since he is my father. I said no child support, no opinion. He seemed pretty stung by it. Was it too much? Absolutely not.
No, you don't know that guy anything.
He just found out through a DNA test that he's your father at 17.
Like he probably knew.
No.
And also they're 17 years old. Just stop it.
I said no child support, no opinion. Stung, baby. I kind of like that one.
I do too. All right, am I the ass for walking away from my ex's kid after he begged me to help raise her? 21-year-old female dated her ex 27-year-old male for almost 2 years. He had full custody of his daughter, who's now 5, because her mom walked out when she was a baby. When we started dating, I made it clear that I wasn't ready to take on mom role. I told him I do want kids one day, but not while I'm still figuring out my own life. He said he understood. Spoiler. He didn't. At first, I was just dad's girlfriend, but that quickly turned into bedtime routines, school pickups, packing lunches, and being the emotional support system for both of them. I love that little girl. She's smart, kind, and so innocent, but I never got to choose this. It got to the point where he stopped trying. He dropped her off for entire weekends while he went out. If I said anything, I was selfish, immature, or not woman enough to handle real life. He weaponized the fact that his daughter saw me as a mom and guilt-tripped me constantly for wanting space. so I left. I didn't ghost them, but I blocked him after he called me heartless and accused me of traumatizing a child. Mutual friends say his daughter still asks about me, and it still breaks my heart. But I couldn't stay in a situation that was destroying me just to protect someone else's child from a man who chose to be her father but expected me to do the work. So Reddit, am I the ass for walking away from a child I never chose, even if I loved her, because I knew I wasn't ready to be a mom yet? Woof.
That's a sad situation.
Heavy.
Yeah, that's a super heavy situation. I don't think she's an asshole. I think he sounds like the type of dude who was a father and wanted to not have the responsibility that came along with being a father. So he was a
single dad. So not just a dad, but he was a single dad.
I'm just saying, but then to find a new girl, and like it's tough because like when you do find a new girl in a new relationship, like you do have to have that communication. Like, I have a kid, they're a part of my life, and you got to respect the boundaries. If that new partner, they're not responsible to take care of that kid. That's your kid. Now, a lot of times, like if there truly is kind of like love and this idea that you're going to now spend the rest of your life together, that partner wants to take on the parental role for that child since their mother's not in their life.
But she was very clear that she didn't want that.
Was, and to make it worse, he was leveraging that, the fact that his daughter and her eventually built a relationship, and he started to leverage that to create more free time for himself and guilt trip her, like the worst case scenario where, you know.
Really
so I don't blame her, and like that's super difficult because she probably did genuinely love that kid, but his behavior was unacceptable in that way.
So she had to walk away.
And that just sucks for the kid. I mean, man, that's gonna be so hard for a kid. It's like you don't know your real mom, and then you like get to know this mother figure, and then she leaves. Oh man, that's really tough.
Not the ass.
No, she's not, but it's like super devastating too, though, because for the kid, but then not only that, but for her. But like, if you choose not to be with him, you can't then stay in that girl's life. You know what I mean? Like that's unacceptable as well.
So I feel like if anything, she did the right thing. She kind of
I think break. You have to. Yeah, I think
that's
she did.
Mature for a 21-year-old.
She realized there was no future with that dude. That's just sad, though. I feel bad for kind of everyone involved. Background: I have a pretty severe dairy allergy. I break out in hives, struggle to breathe, and have to carry 2 EpiPens with me everywhere. If I get any dairy in my system, I'll end up in the ER. My in-laws know this, and they've been extremely accommodating since my fiance and I started dating 5 years ago. When we moved in together 2 years ago, we set strict rules for our home because of my allergy. The big one is that no one is allowed to bring anything that contains dairy into our house ever, no matter what. That's a tough allergy because dairy's in literally everything.
Really hard.
It's in everything.
More than you might think.
It's as bad as gluten almost. It's like in everything. On to the current story. My brother-in-law started dating his girl a year and a half ago. They came to visit us together for the first time a year ago. My fiance made sure my brother-in-law explained my allergy to his girl and our no dairy rule. 2 days into their stay, she bought dairy products and cooked lunch for herself when we weren't home. I ended up in the ER because of cross-contamination. That's a bad allergy. If you're like getting cross-contaminated and going to the ER, it's a tough one. She apologized and explained she hadn't understood how serious the allergy was. We managed to put the situation behind us since both my fiance and I currently have and want to keep a good relationship with my brother-in-law. 2 of them came for a second visit 9 months ago. We had a video call with him and his girlfriend before the trip to make sure she understood the allergy and how serious we were about the no dairy rule. During the second trip, I was taking out the trash and found candy bar wrappers and an empty milkshake container in the guest room trash, the room she was staying in. So weird. Even after she saw how serious my allergy is, she brought a Snickers bar into our house. Sorry, that's all it says. Even after she realized how serious the allergy was and how I ended up in the ER, she still brought dairy into our house. I confronted her when they got back. She and the brother-in-law had a huge fight. Brother went through her stuff and threw out everything she had with dairy. We kicked out his girlfriend. Brother-in-law stayed for the rest of the planned trip. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Brother-in-law and his girlfriend worked out the relationship after the trip and are still together since their second trip. He's come alone since I don't trust his girlfriend in our house. Well, brother-in-law's planning a new trip to visit us and his girlfriend wants to come. First, we just said no, we don't trust her, but since we know this is important to him, we came up with what we believe is a good compromise. She can come and stay at our place, but we will look through her bags. Every time she comes back to our place. And if she doesn't accept that, she can stay at a hotel or stay home. Now, I'm being called an ass for treating her like a criminal and that checking her bag is an invasion of privacy. So am I the ass for demanding to go through her bag if she is staying at my house? You know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you again, but fool me 3 times.
That's not how it goes.
I'm looking through all your
That's not.
That's absolutely how it goes.
All right, so I don't think she is the asshole, but I also don't think that's the right solution for the problem.
What is the solution,
do you think
because by visit 2...
I obviously don't trust you now for obvious and good reason. I think they should have to stay at a hotel or stay somewhere else. I don't think they should be allowed to stay at their house.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's good.
I think that's a better solution than having someone come into my house where I have to dig through your stuff or where she went to the store and got a Snickers.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you can look through her stuff, but then she can just leave and grab a freaking milkshake, the next day.
And throw it away in the trash and not think anything of it.
Such an easy thing to avoid. Weird from that girl. Like, how easy is it to, like, if you have to have a milkshake, go out to grab your milkshake, drink it while you're out, and throw it away and come home. Like, just don't bring it back to the house. It's not that hard.
And if you don't like the no dairy rule, don't stay there.
This is an allergy that results in emergency room visits, life or death. The fact that it's like you're trying to like pull a fast one on her is an insane level of ignorance. I feel like it's just a tougher situation to become the TSA and set up a security checkpoint at your front door, send it through the x-ray machine looking for candy bars. It'd be one thing if it happened once and it was an accident and like you were wary, but the fact that she knew explicitly, they had 2 separate conversations, sat them down, had a video call over it, they had a fight the last time.
What happened?
Yeah, you don't fool me a third time. Let's try this one. I don't mind
There's
reading.
something
I don't
about
care.
the white print on the black that drives me bonkers.
You don't like
I hate it.
dark mode? There you go.
Oh my God. I feel like I just came back to life.
This is a good conversation to have with your partner. Are you a dark mode or a light mode person?
Light mode. What are you?
Oh my
Not
God.
you.
I use.
Them.
Yeah. What are you? Are you dark mode or light mode?
Oh my God. That was effing me up so bad.
She can't read. She says I had trouble reading in dark mode. I'm like, I'm sure it's the dark mode. Honey. Okay.
Oh no, I also don't love sitting here reading on camera, but here I am, fighting for my life.
Fighting for my life. Well, try this one. You got light mode now, hon. If you
All
make a
right.
mistake, point
know
prove
it
it.
wasn't-
Yeah.
you'll
I'll
know
be
it
f
wasn't the
up the
mode.
first sentence.
Fuck you. Now I'm definitely gonna. All right, am I the asshole for choosing my roommate's business over a big family reunion after how my family acted? About 3 years ago, I left my ex. Shut the f up. What's happening?
I'm just Jeopardy music until you.
Do you have a buzzer
I
somewhere?
wish I had like the Wheel of Fortune.
If it wasn't as stupid as me reading something, I would tell you to fuck and I wouldn't do this.
Hold
but
on. We gotta get it. That's the one. I got that on deck for you. Go ahead.
I couldn't hate you more in this moment.
Start at the top. About 3 years ago.
Okay, about 3 years ago, I left my ex. He wasn't a horrible guy or anything, but I was unhappy. He was obsessed with a video game and did some weird things on it. We had a dead bedroom and he wouldn't work on it. You're dying. He's going like, Pounce, I'm gonna take the mouse.
No.
We had a dead bedroom and he wouldn't work on it. And we just shifted into roommates, really. I didn't have enough saved for my own place, but I knew if I didn't leave, I'd end up stuck. I'd asked members of my family if I could stay with them until I had things figured out and had a plan for roughly 1 month, up to 2 months. They all declined, so I lived in my car for a while. My family is big on pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. No handouts, accept the consequences of your choices, etc. So I was not surprised. I did not have local friends to ask. Thankfully, after a few months, my high school friend Penny moved back to town and invited me to be her roommate. And that's where I am now. Now for the conflict. Lots of lettuce.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give me a little beep.
No, that's the right way to do that. Yeah.
My mom asked me what I was doing in August because they were trying to get everyone to Florida for a family reunion. They had made reservations and things under the assumption I'd go. A while ago, Penny asked me if I could help her out at her craft fairs this year. She does 10 to 15 of them and it's a big to-do. She sells gorgeous jewelry and ceramics. I gladly accept. I told my mom that I had plans over the summer and wouldn't be able to come. She got angry with me and asked me what plans could be better than a trip to Florida. Right? I explained what I'd be doing and she scoffed. She told me that this was probably the last time we'd all get to be with some of the older family. She said I have no sense of familial obligation. That statement got under my skin. Suddenly, there's a family obligation for me to pay to travel to Florida and spend time with people who wouldn't even help me out when I needed it. I went to family dinners where at the end of the night, I'd leave and go sleep in my car in the Walmart parking lot and nobody blinked. I brought that up to my mom and she immediately slapped it down and said that my own bad choices are why I ended up living in my car and they were not required to coddle me as a grown woman. I said it goes both ways and that their choices are why I will not end up joining them for a family reunion. She said I was being a petty brat. I ended the call. My sister later called me about it and asked me what the my problem was and why I'm still holding ancient grudges against the rest of them, and how this trip was supposed to be a big reset for the family and I'd be an idiot not to come. I do know that there are a few family members. I did it! On the last sentence! I'm so mad.
Man, you were sweating so hard.
I know. I was trying to get like a perfect score so hard. I wanted you to give me like a ding, ding,
I could
ding,
tell
ding.
You sounded like Jackson reading through that.
I was purposely reading monotone just to get the words right.
Zero enunciation.
It was very intentional because I didn't want to f up a single word, and I did on the last sentence. You son of a.
I don't even know what the story's about. I've just been listening to your grammar. All right, light mode. Here we go. Last sentence.
This is the main reason I wonder if I'm just holding on to her or if it's justified for me to do this. I mean,
All right, so it was basically your family kind of didn't take care of you when you were on the outs, and now they want
you just
something
wanna
from
make your
you
own
because you're in a
choices.
better spot and you don't want to give it to them. So kind of like tit for tat. He said, she said.
You really weren't listening.
Nah.
Okay. It's fine. And I was speaking like a robot. They're just, it's not.
Just
it's
them
honestly
asking her for help.
Not that, no, they're not asking her for help. They're asking her to go on a family reunion. It's really not that dramatic. That she's very much over dramatizing this, if you ask me. You're a grown woman, make your own decision and own it.
It feels a little bit petty. Yeah. So,
It's
all right. So
extremely petty.
they want her to be at a family reunion. She doesn't want
She
to pay
has
for
something
it.
else to do because she committed to something else to helping her friend with her business at the scrap fair.
The scrap fair. Yeah, I got it. And so
She's choosing that over going to the family reunion
their
in Florida, which she would
families-
have to pay for.
Their family's mad because she's not canceling the craft fair to go to the family reunion.
Correct.
Listen, if you don't care for your family that much, you're certainly not obligated to go to the reunion. It's not unusual for the parent to maybe make you, to try to guilt you into doing it.
Sure.
It shouldn't have anything to do with the fact that maybe you used to be homeless or something. You were sleeping in your car a long time ago and your parents didn't help you the way you thought you would.
The
Sounds
way
like there's
she
some...
sees it. She's kind of like, oh, I'm supposed to drop everything and go on this family reunion with these people that wouldn't help me when I needed it. Like I would leave a family dinner and go sleep in my car.
Did you ask for the help at the time?
She did, and they said no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Just sounds like a tough family
Petty bunch of
relationship.
baloney, but I don't think she's an a-hole for not going to the family reunion. Own it. It's fine.
So I, a 17-year-old female, have an older sister, Lisa, who's 27. She has 3 kids, 6, 4, and 2. She's always asking me to babysit for free, and I usually do it because I love my nieces and nephew, but lately, I feel she's been taking advantage of me. Last weekend, we had a big family dinner at my parents' house, and everything was fine until my mom jokingly mentioned how I've been focusing on school a lot lately, and Lisa goes, yeah, because she doesn't have a life otherwise, no boyfriend, no social life, just stuck at home doing math. A little bit cold. Unnecessary. I laughed it off at first, but she kept going, making jokes about how I'm basically a live-in nanny and how she's doing me a favor by giving me something to do. The whole table was laughing and I was sitting there embarrassed as hell. My dad even said, Lisa, that's enough, but she shrugged it off. I was so mad that I decided right then and there that I was done. The next time she texted me, hey, can you watch the kids Saturday? I just replied, no, I'm busy. She asked me with what, and I said, finding a life. Now she's furious, saying I'm being childish and punishing her kids over a joke. Even my mom is saying I should be the bigger person, but I feel like if I don't set a boundary now, she'll keep walking all over me. I think it's insane as the sister when you have someone in your family helping you in a way that is incredibly imperative as a parent with multiple kids to have help. If you are not showing them appreciation for that help and making them feel like what they're doing is special because you know that they are not obligated to do that, they don't have to do that, and you are doing them a favor, that should be your only concern, is making them feel good about doing it. The fact that you trampled on her in front of your family, calling her a loser, that she has no life, and that's why she has time to take care of your kids, insane, and you should go at least 2 years without having a single ounce of help from her so you can learn to appreciate her, in my opinion.
She could be spending a lot of money on childcare. To find a babysitter for 3 kids for hours
It's a
at a time
lot
is
of
going to
money.
be very expensive.
There is obviously like taking your jabs at family members, and like, you know, my family were around dinner or playing card games, like we make fun of each other and stuff, but you should have the self-awareness to know when it's going too far or when you're touching on something that's a little more personal to them. It's one thing to take jabs, it's another thing to just be aggressive.
Also just completely ungrateful.
That's what I mean. Like, you could make little jokes and then like wrap it up quick and be like, you know, I'm kidding and I appreciate how much you do for me. Like, you know, you got like, but unfortunately some people don't understand that. If you make someone feel appreciated for what they do, they will go on doing it for eternity. That's all people typically want, is to feel a little bit of appreciation or a little bit of like they're needed in some way, in a way that makes them feel useful or appreciated. There's a flip side of that too, where some people are just desperate for validation in all things, and it can get a little bit much. But generally,
that is not the case.
Yeah, no, is anyone in a relationship or as a boss or as a leader, any walk of life, if you are good at making people feel valued and valuable in their role, you're going to be able to go far in what you do. Like my wife, who takes care of our home and cleans the dishes and makes the house spick and span and makes my life so easy so that when I'm stressing out at work and I come home, it's the least stressful part of my day. And I always appreciate
you buttering
it.
me up.
Yeah. Well, I probably don't say it enough on camera, but thank God for the homemaker in my life, because so that's
you
it.
try to make your life easier.
You do. And then I return the favor by forcing you to come over here and read in front of a camera in dark mode.
Like a robot.
Yeah, like a robot.
And then play a sound effects when I up one
Yeah,
word.
let's say we could just do the Mr. Beast thing and like read through a whole dictionary. He did that one time, and that was
I'm
one of his
sure.
early videos.
Come on now.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we had no ass today. Most of those people,
Yeah.
some of them were like kind of on the fence, maybe petty, but certainly no one was like an outright ass. Those are fun to read. We always appreciate you guys joining us for kind of the slower pace audio. This is a good video to listen to, actually. If you can't always watch it, put it on in the car. Probably should have told you that at the beginning.
Yep.
But here we are 35, 40 minutes in. We appreciate you and we can't wait to see you in the next one, or can't wait to hear you in the next one. Bye-bye. Love you. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's been too long.